Why are you boxing yourself in with a daily word count?
Well, that's what all the pros say to do.
I know that everybody says to do that, but I am telling you that you need to try writing your novel scene by scene. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a mom with ADHD, and she was writing a book. Now, for almost a year, she's been using a daily word count to write her novel, and it's actually been fairly helpful. But this week, she challenged herself to write the rest of her book in 1 week, and she started by eating the frog. But if you're not sure, eating the frog is when you do the most difficult task first, because it's good to get it out of the way, and once you get it out of the way, it's easier to keep going. Now, I don't know about you, but routine can be super helpful, but sometimes I just feel a little bit boxed in by it, you know? And I feel like a lot of social media right now is telling you to do things a specific way, but part of the strength of having ADHD and of being a mom, just in general, is that you start learning how to think outside of the box. And that means you make your own rules. So I've been using 1,000 words as my daily word count for over a year now. And recently I kind of stepped away from that. I know if you've been watching my videos for a while now that I sort of swear by daily word counts, and I do think that they're important. I'll touch base on that a little bit more later, but the main thing that I've been feeling recently, especially since I tried this new technique, is that my daily word count has kind of been boxing me in. I don't think my scenes have been as good because I've been trying to fit in a scene a day, but also writing only 1,000 words. This has been helpful in that I've been able to put all of the important information into the scene, but it's also not really giving my scenes much room to breathe. I don't know if you get that. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you get that. But I think a big reason for this is because, you know, when you have ADHD, you have that time blindness. How many of us have told ourselves that we're gonna leave the house in 15 minutes and then half an hour goes by? Like, yeah, it's fine, we'll leave the house in 15 minutes. And then I, on a random impulse, start doing my makeup. And that takes 15 minutes and we still haven't gotten our shoes on. I think a daily word count can cause the same problem. And that's why today, if I get to 1,000 words, I'm just gonna try to finish the whole scene. I'm just gonna keep writing until my flow state expires, because it's so hard to get into that flow state. And sometimes I feel like I get to 1,000 words and I'm just starting to get into my flow state. I don't want to interrupt that. So I just got to 1,000 words and I feel really good about where we're at so far. And this scene is one of my favorite scenes in the entire novel because it's one of the best scenes that showcases Alexi's character. Alexi is one of the protagonist's 6 love interests and I just love him. I think he's such a great character, but he's really hard to write. We're gonna keep going and we're just gonna see how long this scene ends up taking me. I cannot believe it. This scene ended up being 3,433 words. That's insane. Imagine if I had just stopped writing at 1,000 words. I think if you have the time to actually sit down and write, don't box yourself in. Just see how far you can go. And I think the biggest thing here and the most important thing that you need to consider for your own writing is that while word count can be an extremely important factor to your writing, it shouldn't be the only thing that you use to write your novel. Having a word count did make a huge difference for me when I was writing my first draft, but recently, this has just been so freeing. And I think if you've been struggling with the editing process and if you're having a really hard time editing your novel, try letting go of what everyone tells you. Try writing without a word count and just see what happens. If you get to 1,000 words and you're like, oh, I still have plenty of time and energy to write, go for it. sit down, continue writing, and let me know in the comment what your final word count is for the scene that you're working on. I'd love to hear about it. Next week, I'm going to be sitting down and reading my novel and figuring out how to pace all of my chapters. So if that's something that you'd like to join me for, definitely hit that subscribe button and like this video to shoot it out to more people. If you missed the first video in this series, then check out the video on the screen, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!